Hello, my friends. How are you? Good morning. Good to see you. Today is the 12th day of April, 2025, and I hope everyone is doing well today. It is Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. Does anyone have any plans for today? Gypsy, you said you're going to buy some chickens as long as you keep them 25 feet from your neighbor's house. You're good. Going to be a long, narrow chicken yard. Oh, nice. Well, with the cost of eggs, it's a smart thing to do right now, right? Hi, Hope Floats, Jen in Georgia, YouTuber, Gypsy, NJs. How are you? I hope you're feeling better. Good to see you. Michelle Scott. Hi, Ginger Girls. Hi, Michelle Scott. Hi, YouTuber. Hello, Town Chat Cafe and Frank, SI Officer. Maria S. It's so good to see you all this morning. Busy Mama. Hope Floats. Hello. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're feeling, I hope you're feeling better, and I'm glad you're here, Hope. Maria S. It's so good to see everyone today. Hi, Panda Bear's mom. Hello, hello. Everyone who's coming in, hello. We are going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers. Hi, Magic Star. Late slip for me. Jay, come to the office. Yes. Thank you, Frank. And if Sam's in here, I saw a funny comment, let the floor pacing begin. So you all are funny. Wendy M, Roxy R, Deanna Downey, hello. Hi, Peter Pan, how are ya? Haven't seen you in a bit. Hi, Bliss Blessings and Shirley H. Bliss Blessings is brain dead after working on her taxes all week. Time to do some binging and relaxing, right? Dark Side Crime, hello. Hey, Purple Sneakers. Melanie McPoppins, good to see you. Hey, Penny Parker and Rusty Pipes. Sorry if I don't get to say hello to all of you, but I sure appreciate you all for being here this morning. Just a reminder, we have our members only today, our reunion, and don't miss it. We are going to be talking about a topic. You'll see the thumbnail, and I'm going to share a little something with you. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. It is not going to be at our normal time because I was thinking this might be a little bit longer today, this one. So it's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern today. And the thumbnail's already out there for you. 4 p.m. Eastern today. So welcome in. I've titled this, The Cracks Are Surfacing and Who is Cracking? And the reason being, friends, is because I think in the search for Sebastian Rogers, we're getting close, in my opinion. Now, that's my opinion. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not law enforcement. I am not an attorney. I am not an investigator. I am not a professional in forensics. It is my opinion based on what we are hearing, seeing in interviews, articles, behaviors, attitudes, things like that. Okay, so my opinion, I'm theorizing, I'm speculating, no one's being accused. So thank you so much. And the same goes for my chat. My chat is sharing their opinions, their theories, their speculations. This is for entertainment purposes only. And I thank you all for being here. And I believe people are cracking. Are they the people who are directly involved? No clue. But one of them is, in my opinion, the individual whose alibi last was with Sebastian is important. Because we have nothing knowledge of Sebastian other than he was last with his mother. That we verified, right? That is verified by law enforcement. Okay. Now, in this case, because it's gone on for 14 months and we still have not achieved our goal, of locating Sebastian. We've heard a lot, we've seen a lot, and we have a lot to go through. And I think when we go back through things, like the other day, we went back through an interview at the landfill that stated, and it's no longer up anymore, so it stated that they found something, they learned something, they were there the very day the trash from Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood arrived. Things we didn't know because they later, that was taken down. I've challenged y'all to find it, other than on a YouTube channel, and it was taken down. And it says all his articles, all his reports now say they found nothing. So first of all, we see it, we found it, we know it, others probably have noticed it, and that's paramount to me. That is absolutely paramount to me. So I think people are cracking. I think mom being the last one seen with him, obviously, like in any missing child case, the last person with the child is the first person that needs to be cleared. Tone Check Cafe? I do not. I didn't know we could do that. Can we do an annual price? That's interesting. I will actually look into that. That's actually very interesting. Thank you for asking that question. I will inquire. That's a super great idea, actually. So we have a lot to talk about. There have been arguing in a courthouse parking lot, allegedly. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm believing it. Just because it was BHB was there and people saw, heard it, and we're still waiting for the footage. The one thing I won't do is include YouTubers in that scenario until I see it and I hear it, because that's not fair. Regardless of who they are, it's just not fair. So, but we do know that CB and CP were there for the court case. So I feel I can include that, but not tell you the details. I don't know who was fighting. I have heard, allegedly, that CP and CB were arguing, and CP allegedly had his finger pointing at his mom's face. Allegedly. We haven't seen it. We're hearing it. Okay? I think that came from some very important things that happened that day on April 2nd. And we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about a lot today. And I want to just kind of work through what has cracked. We remember the horn tooting that Sebastian did this. Amazing. Without leaving any evidence behind. Well, in my opinion, I've never heard a compliment from that individual regarding Sebastian. I have not, in my opinion. So when someone who loves themselves a lot gives a compliment like that, I have to believe, in my opinion, that they're complimenting not the person they say. Okay? Well, he may say, here's the thing. The reason I believe they may be rattled is that if it was, we're going to go between the subpoena and the warrant. There's so much to talk about. Let's just stay in order here. Okay, the subpoena and the warrant. Okay, now, I think that if that was indeed a subpoena, which we saw that KP was served a subpoena on April 2nd, KP was, I think that subpoena, what a subpoena is they have to, it's to appear and or produce evidence. Now, if indeed you might be not have that evidence per se of what you say occurred, and now you're going to an appellate court, not the Sumner County Court, an appellate court, with having to bring your evidence because the sheriff showed up at your door that morning and served KP with a subpoena. That's on the, go look it up. I think possibly things started getting a little nerve-wracking for people. First of all, hi Brandon E. Hi Susan. I'll be right back there. Let me just, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone. Happy Saturday. Yes, it was for BHB's court case. So the sheriff shows up. They don't have to serve a subpoena. Anyone can. Hey, Christina, I sent you a little email this morning. So thank you so much. I'll be right there to say my thank yous, friends. You all are amazing. Anyone can serve a subpoena. Not anyone, but it doesn't have to be the sheriff. I think it was a message before court that day. And that message was to KP, in my opinion, because that's who was served April 2nd. Was that the only thing served April 2nd? We don't know. CP said, we got served. But that word we is thrown around a lot. Okay? So Sheriff Broaches, I think that was a message. We don't mind coming on your porch. Oh my gosh, you're here from Myrtle Beach. Sorry, everyone. Hi, all I need is Jesus. It's cold there. I hope it warms up for you and you have a wonderful time. So I think that was a message. We can send anyone to serve this subpoena, but we're coming here. And the day, a few hours before you show up at a courthouse where there's lots of law enforcement, it may have made some people nervous, in my opinion. Always form your own. And then possibly because every other time they went to the courthouse, we didn't hear of fights in the parking lot. So what was different this time? Sheriffs were at their door that morning, and they have to come with evidence now. Two things: the message that they have no problem coming at that door even when they don't have to do business. And number two, you need to show up with evidence. Welcome in, friends. We are talking about the disappearance and search and investigation into the crime of the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And I say the crime because the day they sounded that Amber Alert proved in the state of Tennessee that a crime was committed. Because as we learned, TBI must be shown by local law enforcement. It must be confirmed that the child was unlawfully kidnapped. Not that they think that he was. We went through that article, What to Do When You're Missing in Tennessee. So I'm recapping a little bit for people who may not have been here. Hey, Michelle Lee. Hey, Robin. Hey, Lady Roses. Diana Bond. Avondale Mama. So, right? I'm going to say my hellos for a minute. Hey, everyone. Tina Murphy. I want to say a couple of thank yous because I see we have some gifted memberships going out. Please thank Christina Laska for growing our family memberships, and we will see you today is a different time for our members only. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, thank you so much, Christina, for giving other people an opportunity and supporting the channel. And please thank Christina if you received a membership, and welcome our new members in. And thank you so much, Penny Parker, for your sweet donation. I appreciate you and it. Everyone, please give a thumbs up in the chat. It's so appreciated. Hi, Mimi Sandy. So I think it's rattled some people. I think people are cracking. I've heard little murmurs. I haven't listened to the channel myself. We had a little power thing. They're working on our sidewalks in the neighborhood last night. But I heard on a live allegedly that, because I haven't heard it with my own ears, but allegedly that KP's a little worried. Allegedly is sharing she's worried CP may leave her. Alleged. Have I verified it? Of course not. I have not, because I just woke up. Hi, Pale Rider. Hey, how are you doing? I'm Michelle Scott. Thank you all my mods, by the way, for being here. Appreciate you all the time. And that would be really heartbreaking if indeed someone did something in order to stay together. No allegations, just theories, speculation. And now they're not together. Oh, sickens my stomach, right? And that's alleged. That's an alleged theory, of course. We all have our thoughts, right? So I want to talk about, thank you so much, NJs. I want to start with, we've talked a little bit about what's been making them crack a little bit, we think, right? And NJs, thank NJs if you are the recipient of this gifted membership to Crime Time Buds. And meet us today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for our members only. Thank you, NJs, so much. Appreciate you. And I'm glad you're with us and feeling a little better. Hi, Castle. Hey, Chella. So we're going to go through, and we're just going to go through a few things that I think we have seen cracks in this not so perfect crime. And just the kudos of so amazing, nothing was left behind, no evidence. I don't think that was a compliment being given to Sebastian, but that's my opinion. Okay? So, let's talk about it. The very first thing we've seen, let's talk about the 25th of February, what we know. What we know is on the 25th of February, which was a Sunday, and I'm going to get my pen out just so I keep it was the Sunday. We know there was a Sunday funday. Okay. Which in itself strikes me as odd. And I want to say a few things. How many Sunday fundays did KP and Sebastian do with family prior to that Sunday? Was it normal? Was it like a surprise? Was it special? Was it something they do as a family all the time? I'd like to know that. Because remember, the law of normal behavior is admissible in court. Especially when it doesn't, the opposite of your normal behavior or differing from your normal behavior occurs during a alleged crime. Hey, Summers Army. Yes, Mama First, I think it's a red flag too. And this is going to be, I'm going to be going through a lot, and I'm going to look at comments, but I want to talk about it and look at your questions too. What day is that photo from when Sebastian was sitting next to KP at Texas Roadhouse? It turns out it was earlier. It was not that last day. I do not have a date for that. If anyone in the chat has a date for that picture where KP's hair is long and out, down, and Sebastian's sitting next to her and they've got a selfie. She's in the front, he's in the back. If you have a date on that, would you please submit it to us? Thank you. But it is not that last day. Another thing, well, we're going to get to Texas Roadhouse. Another thing I find odd about the Texas Roadhouse real quick is the meal that was reported that he had and what we see him eating. That's weird, in my opinion. It's not the same. They don't match from what I look at. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's just keep going. So first of all, we have a Sunday funday. Now, if indeed the poker game did occur, And if indeed it is true that Sebastian got in trouble, a big trouble, for going on a computer, DG's computer, lots of initials in this case, by the way, lots of initials, DG's computer, I'd like to know, was it something that was on the computer that Sebastian came across, or was it something, just the fact that Sebastian was on his computer or what he was doing? I don't know. But I find it really odd for the characteristics, because CP has told us they are very strict parents. I find it odd you get in a whole lot of trouble, big trouble on a Friday night, and they're throwing a family Sunday fun day with your favorite popcorns. You get to go taste the appetizers at BJ's and Costco's, and you're going to go play games at the bowling alley, but the photos from the father say he didn't look comfortable or like he was having a good time, right? Then you go get snacks because he loves snacks, all his favorites. Then you go out to his favorite restaurant. You say he had his salmon and asparagus. I believe that's what we were told. Would strict parents with someone who got in so much trouble, like 36 hours later, start a Sunday fun day? Beginning with spaghetti pancakes, y'all. Google it, y'all. Right? Lots of strange things, in my opinion. Okay. Strangest of all is when KP is asked what happened that day when she went into the room, when he disappeared. Okay? What happened? Tell us what happened. She reported him missing on the 26th. Tell us what happened that day. Each time that's said, KP rewinds to Sunday morning the day before. Okay, each day. That's interesting to me. If someone asks me about the day something happens to my child, I'm going to describe, even if it's in the morning, that day. I am not going to rewind 24 hours before until law enforcement says, well, let's talk about it, let's lead up. But I'm not going to, that's not going to be my first instinct for my first interviews. And all my interviews is to rewind to 24 hours before. So I think that's significant. I, in my opinion, think it is very significant that the narrative starts 24 hours before. I think it's cleanup work, in my opinion, for the 24 hours before. Because you don't have to mention the 24 hours before to the public. You just tell what happened that morning. Why go into the 24 hours before? You know why, my friends? Because they were significant to the narrative, significant to making sure we put people in certain places, in my opinion, and events occurring, and good parenting being shown, and a close family, in my opinion. Am I off? Maybe. Are we getting close? I think so. Could we be onto things? I think so. Because I don't think anyone intended it to get this big. And I want to read you my post on my community post from last night, because that's kind of where I'm going with this entire thinking. And I'm still getting charged to my devices because I fell asleep and didn't charge after the power had gone out. So hold on 1 second. Okay. I want to read you my post from yesterday. Not a perfect crime with no evidence left behind. It is there. There were mistakes. Alibis, evidence, and the narrative. Y'all, it's there. And we're going to talk about it today. Piece by piece, some things are starting to connect, make sense. Sadly, we have not reached the goal because we still need to locate Sebastian Rogers and bring him home. Sebastian's departure was not via walking out on his own voluntarily, in my opinion. There is no scent, no footage, and no sightings. Nothing to prove that, except a narrative that was delivered and began by KP and CP. Sebastian would not have left without shoes. I believe this was a mistake, an afterthought that arose after Seth arrived, noticing all the shoes were present in the house. By the way, this is all my opinion. According to KP's alibi, she and Sebastian were the only ones home. Doors locked at night and also in the morning, and only immediate family has keys and codes. She shared that on the Nancy Grace show. One of two people took the trash out that night, Sebastian or KP, that moving silhouette in the dark. Sebastian disappeared before the trash was picked up and was reported missing after the trash truck left the neighborhood. Was that the reason for the delay from 6 a.m. until dispatch was called at 6:33 a.m.? Why did the lights above the garage that CP told Nancy Grace were on that night and every night not illuminate at all to reveal some characteristics of the individual taking out the trash Sunday night? Allegedly, flashlights moving through the backyards with one returning to the home that very night. Allegedly, is that why it was said Sebastian had his fidget flashlight, in case the flashlights were detected? There were mistakes. This was not the perfect crime with no evidence being left behind. It is there. It will be found. And so will Sebastian. The biggest mistake, in my opinion, was to underestimate the force and power behind Seth's unconditional love he has for his son, Sebastian. The mistake occurred, in my opinion, because the very people who did this are incapable, in my opinion, of understanding unconditional love or possessing it. This was their oversight. Seth won't give up on his son. This they could not grasp. It's foreign to them who did this. Selfless love rather than selfish love. Whoever and who all are involved and responsible, Sebastian's army is coming for you. We have our packets and are clad with our bracelets, t-shirts, and flyers. Wink. Let's put it all together. Hope to see you there, Sebastian's army. And that is how I feel, my friends, and that is all my opinion. But think about it. Okay? Just think about it. All those little pieces we're going to discuss today that have come out of the cracks that maybe we didn't even notice, like we didn't until the other night with that one news article that's no longer around that says they arrived the day the trash from Sebastian's home arrived at the Kentucky landfill, and that they found something and learned something. Kind of went over our heads. So we're going to go through things and share things. And if you think of something, let me know. Right now we're hitting on Sunday Funday. And if you need to get coffee, go ahead, because I may pause a couple of times to go fill mine up. The fabricated stories. Absolutely. I've got that down. We're going to discuss it. It's all evidence. The command post chatter. Absolutely. It's evidence. People know things. They heard things. They've shared things. We're not going to say who shared. We're not going to say who heard. But we've all talked about things. Right? The police officer, part-time Hendersonville PD officer who left the vigil crying, saying it's bad. It's so bad. Right? They've seen things, allegedly. That's alleged. Right? So let's keep talking. Sunday Funday. I think it was built to establish a family, to have like a, as someone put it, and it broke my heart, and I don't want to say it, and I'm going to, because we still need to keep the faith of what occurred, but we're going to go through what we're seeing, kind of a going away party, and it makes me sick to say that. And Seth, I'm sorry if you're in here. Okay, so Sunday Fundays, I'd love to see. There's several people who want to discuss that Sunday Funday because the events were so strange to them. Well, I think if the events were strange, in my opinion, it's not normal. Another thing I want to talk about is when Sebastian was reported missing. When Sebastian was reported missing, the narrative began that mom went into the room in the morning. Well, no, the narrative began 24 hours before he began missing, or was missing, which is mind-boggling. Why you do that? You would want to focus on that specific event as it happened and get that information there. You would not rewind, in my opinion, 24 hours before. For instance, let's discuss it. When Kyron Horman disappeared, they shared that morning. He went to the bus stop. Yeah, that's what they did that morning, right there. Last week, took him to school, went to the science fair, hadn't been seen since. No one rewound 24 hours before when asked what happened when he went missing. Okay? Think about them. Think about the cases. Who rewound 24 hours before Michael Vaughn when we've heard about Michael's disappearance? Fruitland, Idaho. No one rewound 24 hours before. They said, well, I went in, Tyler said, I went in to change Buggy's diaper. Then I ordered pizza. When I came out, Monkey was gone. When I went in to change Buggy, he was in the living room. Okay? He didn't rewind 24 hours before because it's not normal, in my opinion. And it's not normal until investigators start discussing what led up to things. Okay? So it's strange to me. Then let's get to the report. 6 a.m. report is I went into his room at 6 a.m. and he wasn't there. Period. That's been the narrative for 14 months. Now we have a Dateline interview. Article where KP went in and said, dude, it's time to get up. Waited to see him roll over and turn to her and say something, and he didn't. And then she knew he wasn't there. Different story, in my opinion. Added again, in my opinion. In a true crime case, when you cannot get a timeline from the very individuals who were there, that is the huge, huge red flag when a case cannot get a consistent timeline. Huge. Law enforcement's red siren. Okay? Even if they know what they know, and I know we always heard critics say we don't know what we don't know, but they know things. They've been doing, we're going through it, okay? I want them to act before someone gets hurt. I want them to act before something happens in their community, because people are cracking. If people are fighting on parking lots of the courthouse, I think they should come out and speak. I think they should talk to the public. I think they need to ensure safety, because I think this is an explosive situation, in my opinion. And I think that the lead agency is responsible for that and can control that. I'm gonna say hello and my thank yous, and we are going to continue. And by the way, everyone, these are my opinions, okay? So please know, form your own opinions. Here you have we collaborate here. So if you have a different opinion, you can always put it in the chat. No one's going to attack you. We learn from each other. We may ask a question. Like I always have a question for those people who still believe Sebastian ran away. And I'm never being rude about it. I want them to show me How do you still believe that when there was no scent, no eyewitness, no footage of him walking out on his own? And I'm not being sarcastic. I really do want to know how you still get there. Right? I'm being truthful because we want to eliminate all options. And Jace, thank you, sweetie. You are so kind. Thank you for your super sticker, doll. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And also, Town Chat Cafe is now a member and will be joining us today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome in. Please welcome Town Chat Cafe and everyone who received the gifted memberships from Christina and Jace. Okay. So the 6 a.m. report, different already from Dateline. Do you not think that, I think, that law enforcement looks at that? Of course. All the changing narratives is evidence. Absolutely. It's evidence of deceit. The truth doesn't change. And another thing I find interesting about people cracking is suddenly we have the reemergence of CP on interviews and panels popping up. But the discouraging thing, I don't listen to them, but I hear the clips and I see the clips in the comments. But the discouraging thing is now, like, he's really upset that there's footage out there being, sold by another channel. I wonder how Seth feels about that, was something I heard allegedly. Well, why are you even worrying about that? Why are you worried about that? I don't get it. Not one, I don't get it. Why are you out there talking about that, in my opinion? Get up there and talk about Sebastian. That's the only reason you should be on panels, in my opinion, is discussing Sebastian. In my opinion. Am I wrong? Maybe. But if you're up there as a step-parent or parent of a missing child, you shouldn't be talking there about yourself and saying, people are going to get in trouble and this and that, and worrying about, I wonder what Seth thinks that they're selling footage. Why do you care? Get out there and search. I challenge everyone from this moment on to tabulate the amount of time that CP puts on interviews in the next 7 days. My next challenge is, how many times does he talk about Sebastian? I challenge you. 7 days from today, someone please. What was the time spent talking about Sebastian on panels? Please. And how many times was he on panels, and how many times was he actually discussing Sebastian? The disappearance, the search, the goal to bring him home. I challenge you. Please, someone do that for me. Let's get that data. From April 12th to April 19th. Or if you want to go back the last 7 days, go ahead. I'd love that data. I would love that data if someone's willing to do it. If someone watches and listens to him when he's up there and is willing to, tally every time he talks about Sebastian's well-being and what they're doing for Sebastian, and that the disappearance of Sebastian. Because that's another red flag. The changing narratives are another red flag. Calling the reward a joke, and At Night has already addressed that. They are seeking civil litigation, exploring options to seek civil litigation against CP and KP for defamatory behavior, impeding an investigation, and telling lies, basically, is what they At Night's update said. Okay? Because we don't understand why a step-parent would minimize the reward, because rewards, here's what rewards do. Rewards raise media interest again, re-spark it. Rewards incentivize people to come forth with information and tips and help solve cases. And the reason, in my opinion, that someone would minimize that is you don't want those three things accomplished. Otherwise, explain why you're minimizing it. I don't understand it. Most people would be begging for the kind of reward we have here. Yes, SI officer, I know. And I'm trying to get to all the things everyone's asking me to find out, and I promise you are on that list. Okay? The link to sign up for CTB membership. I think you already did. You find it, my dear? Yes, you did. Hello, everyone coming in. Hi, Tam here. Good to see you. Okay, everyone, you could fill the chat with green hearts for our dear Sebastian. It would be much, much appreciated. T. Lee. I'm looking at this one right here. What if hidden witness protection? And I will talk about that because I think that's a great comment. I've had a few people comment on the fact that they think that witness protection may be what's going to entice people to come forth, is that they know they'll be protected. If you know something and you are afraid of the people who are responsible, please call. I'd say the FBI, but the lead agency too. I'd call them all and I'd ask for protection. Okay? Ask for protection if you need it. If that's what's keeping you from talking, please ask for protection. Great comment, T. Lee. Okay? I'm trying to keep this as, hey, Sassy. I'm trying to keep this as organized as I can, so I'm going through notes, and I am going to be putting it into a slideshow, adding it to our study sessions from before, so we have it all together, my thoughts. Okay? So the timeline, 6 a.m., going back 24 hours is a huge red flag, in my opinion. No one asked you what happened the days before, and I think that's in that narrative to show what a wonderful mother we are, in my opinion. What a close family we are, in my opinion. Okay? Because when Seth looked at photos, Seth saw a photo of Sebastian at the bowling alley. Sebastian looked uncomfortable. Not like he was having the greatest time in the world. Okay? Kathy Smith, thank you so much for your super sticker. Always a pleasure. I always appreciate it, but it's never necessary, friends. But Kathy, thank you so much. Miss Sassy T, one of my moms, thank you so much for gifting a membership to Crime Time Buzz. Please welcome our new member and thank Sassy T, and join us 4 p.m. Eastern today. It's a little bit later because I thought this might go a little bit longer today, but I wanted us to be comprehensive on the topic because I think it's important, and I wanted to be able to go through your comments. Thank you, Sassy. Starchild, welcome Starchild to the channel membership. We will see you at 4 p.m. Eastern time today, and our new member Starchild gifted a membership. So if you receive that membership, please thank Starchild. Welcome both of them in. Thank you so much. And Town Chat, our new member, gifted a membership. Thank you, Town Chat Cafe. We will see you both at 4 p.m. Eastern for our members live. And thank you for gifting that membership. That's sweet. And we have a new membership, new member Tina Murphy. Welcome in, everyone. Please welcome Tina. And Tina, we hope to see you today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Kiai, welcome in. We hope to see you at 4 p.m. Eastern. Everyone, welcome, Kiai. Our reunions are on Saturdays, and today's is just a few hours late because of this live. Wanted to make sure we had plenty of time. And another new member, Sandra R., welcome in. We have lots of new members. We welcome you all. Excuse me. We thank you all for gifting opportunities for others to join in and for your sweet donations. Thank you, everyone. Let's keep going, okay? Let's see. Okay, so the report, the 6 a.m. report. Now we have Dude Get Up and a different narrative in there from the Dateline interview. And yes, of course, law enforcement saw it. Yes, Doug's team saw it. And at night, the FBI, I'm sure, saw it. TBI saw it. Sumner County saw it, I'm sure. Okay? So let's talk about it. 6 a.m. originally went in. And in the first few interviews that KP does, and I want you to watch, first 5, KP never offers at 6 a.m. It's brought in by the reporter saying she said it was 6 a.m. or pulling the time from her. So now and then we got the 6 a.m., so it became 6 a.m. or it's 6 a.m. according to KP, but she wasn't throwing it out there. It was something that was being brought forth at first by the reporters. Now for the Dateline, it's about 6 a.m. Okay? 14 months later, it's about 6 a.m. We're hedging time. Why are we hedging time? I'll tell you why we're hedging time, in my opinion. Because if you recall, when we found out the dispatch received the report that Sebastian was missing, we heard it. When we heard that at 6:33, whoa, stop. What's going on? There's 30 minutes. Because the narrative is, noticed at 6, I searched all around. I mean, literally, y'all, 1 to 3 minutes. And I went on the phone with Chris and we were calling. Chris said, I said, check the side of the bed, which people question because why is she checking a place he gave when she said she checked everywhere, allegedly, but so what? We'll just keep going on that piece because it is significant when things are added and deleted. And I didn't mean so what. I didn't mean to say that. It's significant. But it changed. It changed. Okay. So 6 a.m. So within 3 minutes, they called. And in the original 5 interviews, no one talked about a three-way. Chris called. CP called. That's what he says. I called. Go back to those interviews. We went back to several of them. We ended at 5. That's why I keep saying the first 5 when we were studying them, and we need to keep going back. Now it's about 6. And I always wondered what was with the 33 minutes, the half hour. What were we doing in 30 minutes from noticing our child was missing to reporting it? Because the 2 things that I think you would do were never mentioned, were never done. Check Sebastian's cell phone that's sitting on the island, right? Check that cell phone, see if he's communicated in or had communication out or in. Never mentioned. Calling the father who is local, that has a relationship with Sebastian, and Sebastian knows his number and how to get to him. Before I sounded a 911 emergency alert for a missing child, I would have indeed done that. Not just sent a text, made contact. Now, in an emergency, for those of you who have separated, most people who are separated, divorced, and share a child, if there's an emergency and they're not answering their phone, would call directly into their work. If they didn't know the work number, they would use their noggin and Google it, y'all. Right? So that's just my opinion. Because I'm sick of the BS. Okay? That's just what I'm going to say. You want to Google spaghetti pancakes the day before, but the day your child's missing, in my opinion, you're not Googling the work number if you don't know it, which I'm sure you did. I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion, giving her KP, in my opinion. Okay? Then So we've got 33 minutes, and I've said, and I'm going to take us back months and months ago. As soon as I noticed that 33 minutes, I said, they waited till the trash truck left the neighborhood. That was always my theory. Am I wrong? I could be, yes. Could I be correct? To me, it seems so. I do. I do. Don't miss the members live today, please. We're going to expand on that a little bit. I do. Okay? So, trash came in. Sebastian was already missing. Trash truck left the neighborhood. Sebastian was reported missing. If you saw the article I shared the other day, we now know that law enforcement, and that's not up there anymore, so get my members live and we'll share it. We'll share it again, possibly. We now know from that reporter that law enforcement went to the trash person, asked them if there was anything unusual. The trash person told them where, they asked him where exactly, he told them where exactly the trash was dumped. They tracked the trash to the Kentucky landfill in White Plains with a search warrant, meaning they had probable cause, and they searched the landfill. Did they track the trash? Did they track it because he was reported missing, as Sonny Weatherford says, after the trash, but went missing before? Sonny Weatherford said that too. Is that why they tracked it? Is that enough probable cause? We will be talking about that this afternoon. What possibly led to that, right? Other things that are strange about the report that morning. The description of Sebastian Rogers was that he was barefoot, had no shoes on, had bare feet. Okay? However, I believe the reason that came out, I think that was one of the big mistakes. If indeed individuals might be involved that I think might be involved, or at least the very, whatever. But I think that was a big mistake. I think it was an oversight that wasn't thought of until Seth showed up and noticed all the shoes that were accounted for. Just my opinion. But I think it was a mistake. Also, sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Now Seth and KP had been trying to get that fixed, changed to black, the silky sweatpants with the stripe down the side like Adidas, white stripe, and a long sleeve black t-shirt, not known of the logo on the front. However, the person giving the description who last saw Sebastian is who you can track that to. And I think it's important we all pay attention to that. That crappy description, excuse my words, came from the person that was there. They're not going to ask Seth what he was wearing. They're not going to ask CP because the alibi is KP was the only one there. So that description right there is from KP, the one who saw him going to bed, the one who knew there was white stripes down the side, the one who knew he wasn't in a sweatshirt, but who, like we have talked about before, in my opinion, so careless with words when it is your son's life. Careless, in my opinion. The careless description of Sebastian's capabilities. Because Sebastian was first represented was very childlike. They said his medication, it was very dangerous. without medication was the first report. Where do you think that came from, in my opinion? Well, it's obvious. They're talking who they're getting information from, right? It's concerning. And if we're concerned, law enforcement has noted all of this. And the FBI has. Okay? Why were we made to think Sebastian had struggled more than he does? Why? Sebastian's high functioning. Now, 14 months later, 13 months later, came out, or a year later, whatever, she came out at that year interview and explained that it had been misconstrued. That Sebastian's very capable, he's very high functioning, he's very verbal, and it had been kind of misconstrued in the chaos of getting everything out so quickly. I'm going to call BS again. In my opinion, a parent who's trying to get out information correctly, quickly, regarding their missing child in the chaos is not going to be sloppy and careless, in my opinion. And is certainly not going to misrepresent. Their words are not going to completely misrepresent who their child is. There might be a little error there or here, like we think he's got on black tennis shoes and he might have on blue. Okay? But his entire personality, his entire capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses? Friends, come on. That's not misconstrued. In my opinion, that's intentional. Then the whole medicine emergency that Craddock and Widener were told. Where'd that come from? That wasn't Seth, because Seth, he didn't take that medicine at Seth's. Again, misconstrued. It makes no sense. And if you knew in the chaos that that was misconstrued, why would you wait 12 months to fix your sloppy words, in my opinion? Why? You're a parent. You misrepresented your child. Get out there and tell everyone what he can do. I'm very discouraged. And let me tell you, and this is just me saying it, not only are the FBI watching, TBI watching, local law enforcement watching, At Night, One World, Dog the Bounty Hunter, the whole world, we also have CPS watching. And when I'm just saying something, neglect includes a lot of things, in my opinion. Okay? I'm just going to say that. And when people are mentioned on CPS reports allegedly, and then CPS is looking at a sliding timeline, a changing narrative, misrepresentation for a year, neglecting to correct that for a year, I believe it becomes very serious. Am I a professional? No. Do I have my opinions? Yes. And I want you all to form your own. There were errors. This was not the perfect crime. They're fighting in the courthouse parking lot. KP's saying she's worried he's going to leave her. Mama Socks and Babyfoot are fighting in the parking lot. Think about it. The pressure is building and the weasels are going to pop some. And if someone needs to come forward, which please do ask for protection. Ask for protection. If you're afraid to speak to law enforcement, there's other avenues out there. Look at the flyer. There's anonymous reports and everything. Please ask for protection, get the reward, $500,000, and save Sebastian. Let's get him home. Let's locate him. Please. So the description is quite disturbing. And it was KP, Sebastian's mother, waited a year to clarify her errors. Okay. Then we have the search. Jen Coffindaffer of Break the Case, who I highly respect, and I love her channel. And I normally don't talk about a lot of channels, but I do love her. I think she's very informative. She's 25 years with the FBI, among many, many other accolades. And she's an absolute golden nugget to our true crime community, in my opinion. She had mentioned something that I thought was interesting. She was wondering, why was there so much confusion about the scent? The dogs hitting on a scent, the dogs not hitting on a scent, the dogs running the exact flashlight path, saying a scent was detected, dogs, hitting here, hitting there, doing that. Why? And Jen Coffindaffer tracked it to CP, the stepfather. And I recall CP is the one who told that path, the flashlight path. He verbally was the first one to narrate the flashlight path, but he didn't narrate it as a flashlight path. He narrated it as where the dogs hit. Sure. But law enforcement says they didn't hit anywhere. Law enforcement says there's no proof he ever left the house on his own, walking. So she reels that back to him. Now, why would someone be trying to muddy the waters now, not only with the reward, but now with the scent, allegedly? How would someone know the exact flashlight path if the scent didn't go that way? I'm curious. Aren't you? How did he know? How did he know the water's for his height knee-deep in the retention pond at the time he went missing, but didn't know before or after the time of disappearance, the water level, allegedly? How did he get home? Allegedly, in my opinion. 3 hours and 37 minutes door to door. What time was he released? It would have to be 10 a.m. Would have to be his release time in order to get home. We're hearing 11. Alleged, right? But we're hearing 11 a.m. Can't get home in 2.5 hours. Unless, maybe you were about an hour north that day. Towards Hendersonville, right? I don't know. You'd have to. The only way he could have gotten home if he was released at 11. I don't know. Even then, because St. Jude's to Stafford Court is 3 hours and 37 minutes. Very interesting. So let's talk about the search. Mom jumped in her car, and Mom said she went up to the high school and searched for him. Now, 13 months later on Dateline, allegedly, as she arrived, KP arrived, she says she was told to turn around and go back home because law enforcement was coming. Whoa! Okay, we thought you searched the school. Well, perhaps that's damage control because the cameras caught her not searching the school, didn't catch her searching the school, in my opinion, and allegedly, so we had to switch that little narrative up, just like about 6 a.m. is now in the Dateline article. Now, when I got there, I had to turn around. I think it's all damage control for a narrative that couldn't stay the same because the truth doesn't change and lies fluctuate, in my opinion. So she went down. Now she turned around. So she didn't get to search the school, by the way, now. Now it's as soon as I arrived, I was told to turn around. So she didn't get to search the school. I call BS on that too. Cameras don't lie, people do. And there's cameras, highly sophisticated at Beach High. Do you think law enforcement isn't noticing all this? They are. We are. They have one detective. One detective. And if you think he's not noticing this, he is. And if he isn't, he should be. But I believe he is. But they need to start, in my opinion, and I know they're looking for an ironclad case. I know they are. To take, I don't know. I'm saying we know because that's what law enforcement would do. You get one chance. We don't want Casey Anthony and O.J. Simpson, right? Right? But I do believe that if they are going to pick someone up for anything, if they have anything on anyone, I hope it's, in my opinion, the weak link. And you know who I think that is. It is not KP. She's strong, in my opinion. She's calculating, in my opinion. She's self-serving, in my opinion. Baby socks, or baby foot, on the other hand, in my opinion. Put him behind bars, and he's going to cry and wail and tell everything he needs to get out. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. You saw the scene. You saw him basically, allegedly, we haven't seen the footage, so you haven't seen it. You've heard of, let's put it that way. The tantrum. You heard of the tantrum at the courthouse steps where you want to be your best and put forth your best self, right? People are cracking. Hold on, please. I want to say hello to everyone and thank you to so many of you. Wow, thank you all. I don't even know whose I've read so far, so oh my goodness. Starchild, thank you so much for gifting a membership. And I'm not sure if I thanked you, but if you got Starchild's membership, please thank her. And Starchild, thank you. And we will all be meeting today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss this one. We're going to talk. I'm going to show you one thing that was sent to me. And please welcome Starchild and whoever received Starchild's gifted membership. Same with Town Chat Cafe, please. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get through them. Thank you so much, Town Chat. Gifting a membership, joining our membership, and we will see the recipient and Town Chat, hopefully, at our reunion today at 4 p.m. Welcome them both. And Tina Murphy. I think I've gone through these. And Kiai and Sandra. There we go. Candy, welcome all of them to our family and our reunions. We're all family, whether you're first-time viewer, subscriber, member, but we have reunions Saturdays, and today's will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. Candy, welcome in. Everyone, welcome Candy to our membership. Our reunions at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays, and don't miss them. We have a great time, and we usually uncover something new, different. Don't miss. Debbie W. Welcome in. Everyone, welcome Debbie W. And we hope to see you 4 p.m. Eastern today. It's usually around 1 p.m.-ish on Saturdays, our reunions are. Leslie, welcome in. Everyone, welcome Leslie. Thank you so much for support to the channel and joining us. And we hope to see you at 4 p.m. Eastern. Please welcome Leslie. And Sharon Jones, please. Welcome Sharon, our new member. Sharon, we hope to see you 4 p.m. Eastern today for our members live. Welcome in, and whoever is the recipient of NJ's graciousness, please thank NJ's and welcome in. Thank you, NJ's. Okay. We are cracking, and so are they, right? Okay. I want to look and see if anyone's got any questions. Hi, Cinderella. Good to see you. It's been a bit. Good to see you. Hello, Michelle. Mary Harris. Alcoholic. Grave Crime with Grace. Ylva Bjarnson. I'm not sure what was on a panel. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to go back. Absolutely. At Night is doing a great job. And that's another thing. They are keeping his name out there constantly with repeated updates and information. And that is so important. And I appreciate it. Yes. Hi, Cece. Hello, Roxy. Lisa B. Always. Hello, hello. Let's see if there's any questions. I know you all were saying something was on a chat, and I don't know what it was because I didn't go back that far. If you know something, say something. It's the right thing to do. This isn't a game. It's a child's life. Thank you, Deanna. And whereabout needs to be said. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Y'all, it's someone's got to come forth soon, and if they're fearful, they'll hopefully they're offering protection. Because call in, tell them you're afraid, let them give you protection. Because you know what? There is at least someone loose who hurt Sebastian Rogers. And are we as a nation going to tolerate that? Is Tennessee as a state going to tolerate that? Is Hendersonville as a city going to tolerate that? Is Sumner County as a county going to tolerate that? Allowing a criminal to hurt a child and celebrate holidays? Elections are coming for the sheriff, the county commissioners, and the mayor. It will be May of 2026. I know that seems far away, but that is 13 months. And in December, they have to they have to file their petitions. Put the pressure on. Don't elect, in my opinion, I would not reelect someone who didn't do something about this, speak to the community, get this child brought home, and arrest these lunatics who are responsible, whoever it is, in my opinion. You hurt a child, you go behind bars. I'm sorry, it angers me. So the crappy descriptions came from Mom of the clothing because KP was the last one to see him, so we can attribute that to her. I would assume the search. So she's driving up to the high school. Now we know she didn't search there because now that's changed. We also have images of her searching the neighborhood with her window up. So she has added that allegedly she has stopped, talked to a lady walking the dog, asked her if she saw Sebastian, and she had not. I would love that lady, if you are listening, to please come forth if you exist. Please. My email is crimetimebuzz@gmail.com. Please come forth. Let us know that indeed happened. But just rest assured that now that that's in the narrative, that can be proven by the dash cam and all the ring cameras in the neighborhood, or disproven. So that was added too, by the way, just so you know. And I think that was damage control for being caught on film with your window rolled up while you were searching, allegedly. Okay. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. Okay, let me type. Let me see what some of you are saying. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Yes, please use in my opinion. Thank you. And hit that thumbs up, please, if you have not. That is a great way to support the channel and to raise awareness for Sebastian. Another ways to support the channel, if you're interested, is to watch videos from beginning to end. Go back, watch some of them. The whole playlist on Sebastian and videos on other children. Thank you so much. We are going to continue to talk. So the search. The search began when the officers arrived Monday morning, February 26th, is what we know. Okay? We know that it was extensive. We saw the mapping system that Ken Widener from the management services of Sumner County shared. It was on foot, it was in air, it was in water. There were horses, divers, draining, you name it. ATVs, on foot, you name it. Okay? No sign of Sebastian. He was reported a runaway. By the way, that began walking out the front door, no shoes, no jacket, no cell, out that front door, crystal clear. He walked through my front door and stepped on that porch. How do you know? You weren't there. But that narrative began with KP and CP. The runaway narrative began with KP and CP. Now understand, law enforcement debunked that narrative. Law enforcement debunked that narrative of a runaway very early on when they sounded the Amber Alert. Because in the state of Tennessee, Sumner County Sheriff's Office confirmed to TBI that Sebastian was, not thought to be, was kidnapped unlawfully. They had to prove it. They had to confirm it. In order to request an Amber Alert, then TBI evaluated it, approved it, and sounded it, activated it. Now, that all occurred between 6:33 a.m. on the 26th and the next day on the 27th. So very early on, they didn't buy the runaway story. Who gave them the runaway story? Would it be the same person who gave the wrong clothing description who last saw him? Yes. Or CP, the two of them. One of the two of them or both. That's their narrative. Now law enforcement knows within hours that that's BS. And who are they looking at because of that BS? The people who said it. Now, most importantly, who are they looking at? KP. Because her alibi is in the home. Law enforcement could just think she told this to CP, right? She's in the home. It's her alibi. So now they're looking at her wondering why they got a horrid description of who he was as an individual. Personality, capabilities, strengths. We were shown all weakness. Now they know that very person, maybe two, there is two saying it's a runaway, but they know the one in the home is saying it's a runaway. She could have told CP that, is according to law enforcement. I'm saying if you were an officer, right? You'd have to find out that. But her for sure gave them a poor description of his capabilities, incorrect description of his clothing, because we know that came from her because she was the only one in the home according to the alibi that saw him. So the clothing description came from her. Okay? Take a sip of my coffee. and the runaway. She apparently was the only one there, so she says he run away. KP says he run away. He's run away. Law enforcement knew within hours that wasn't true. So who are they disbelieving at this point? Within hours, KP. They may have a question mark towards CP, but it's pointing to KP. Okay. And I'm going to keep going on that because that happened very early on. Then we have Craddock. Go back to my video months ago where I says Craddock doesn't confirm he's in bare feet or something like that. Craddock doesn't tell the public that Sebastian doesn't have shoes on. Craddock says in the early hours, the first hours, that's what Mom says, but I cannot confirm that. He doesn't have shoes on. What does that show you in the first hours? That Mom is not a reliable source to him, in my opinion. So now we have the clothing, the runaway story, right? And we have that. The shoes that he's not buying, right? Early on. Little pieces that make sense. So from the beginning, he didn't believe KP's story enough to confirm it to the public. Why wouldn't you confirm Mom's story? That's who was there. There's a reason, my friends, in my opinion. Didn't confirm the shoes. Okay? Didn't confirm he was a runaway. They activated an Amber Alert. A crime on February 27th. Okay? Maybe there's reasons they don't call it a criminal investigation. Maybe there are. And we'll look into that. But they're not. They weren't at that point, but it was because they had to confirm he was kidnapped unlawfully. Then we have the command post chatter. Sources say, and I don't reveal my sources, you know that, but sources say, and there were many there, by the way. There were canine handlers, there were community members, there were neighbors, there were county commissioners, there was TBI, there was Sumner County, there was a Hendersonville police officer who was off duty yet there, who lives in the neighborhood. Lots of people around. Lots of people to hear lots of things. And in the early hours, they were able to confirm. What could they have confirmed with that quickly? 2 TBI. Not all kids get Amber Alerts. What could they confirm with to TBI to make them evaluate it, approve it, and activate it? In my opinion, footage. That's what I think. In my opinion, footage. Do I know? Absolutely not. But what else could they have in those early hours? And remember, we heard they were looking through footage. They knew early on he hadn't, that a sedan pulled up at 3 a.m. They knew that early on. That could be maybe some proof. That flashlights were in the backyard, that could be some proof to confirm. Also, at the vigil. I've told you all, I was the one who came out with it, that at the vigil, the neighbor who lives behind, we'll call him Cece, left the vigil, the first vigil in the neighborhood for the neighbors, left the vigil with tears saying it's bad, his head down, it's so, so bad. And he left. A seasoned police officer, what would bring one to cry? To tears. They've seen a lot. What would bring it to tears? Could it be that he knew him so it hit in a different way? Yes. Could it be that he saw something horrid on his video? Sure, possibly. Could it be he saw something with his own eyes? Maybe. I don't know. But something made him tear up. He knew at that point, he knew Sebastian had just ran away. Something was bad. Oh, so, so bad. And I'm going to not go on. He's the one, though, just so you know, has a very sophisticated surveillance system, audio, night vision, many cameras. Okay. Many cameras. Many cameras. Okay. Also, the changing narrative. We've talked about it a little bit. Law enforcement, that is going to be, if this indeed, if the individuals who keep changing the narrative are indeed the ones who end up being held accountable for the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, they have given the grand jury and the jury and the prosecutor a wealth of information, because the truth doesn't change. If I were a prosecutor, I mean, you'd be showing everything the mother said that has changed. Absolutely everything. And I'd also be showing every panel, in my opinion, would be important, that the stepfather went on, where he's talking about himself, defending KP, and not up there to raise awareness for Sebastian. Okay. The flashlights. I believe that the fidget flashlight that Sebastian was told to be carrying was a farce, in my opinion, only because someone knew they were out there with flashlights and wanted to have a little bit of an excuse, in my opinion. So if someone needed an excuse for flashlights, that means they knew there were flashlights, in my opinion. And if they knew there were flashlights, maybe they were involved with the flashlights, and one of you went home like a flashlight did. And maybe you were so involved with the flashlights that you were able to describe the path so well and say dogs followed it, not represent it as a flashlight path, in my opinion. Interesting. Because I find it really interesting that someone can't identify what their child was wearing properly, but certainly knows that a little fidget's missing. It's like saying a Lego's missing, because it was self-serving, in my opinion. A child who sits in a closet playing with paper clips, pennies, and Legos at times is a child who doesn't feel like they belong, in my opinion. And we heard from Seth that some of those reports in that family counseling, all Seth shared with us was what mother doesn't interact with her child in the home. How sad. How disgusting, in my opinion. Because I think you can tell I've had it up to here. Arrest who is responsible, please. And I know they need an ironclad. It's just so frustrating, the obviousness of so much of it, in my opinion. The 3 a.m. car. Come on. The night a boy goes missing. Nothing goes on in the neighborhood except behind his home with flashlights. And a 3 a.m. car the same time there's flashlights. And one of those flashlights allegedly we saw runs back to the house. Mom wakes up in the morning, the doors are still locked. But Sebastian is not there. Who locked that house? Only immediate family. Because KP told Nancy Grace, only immediate family has the ability, the capability. There's audio. I believe it. I believe it. There's video. I believe it. Of people carrying, it looks like someone in the backyard. Are either of those verified? No. Are the flashlights verified? No. Is the 3 a.m. car verified? No. Not by law enforcement, no. Is the fact that a bag of Sebastian's clothes was found at the landfill, is that verified? No. But what is verified is they tracked the trash from Sebastian's house to the landfill. That reporter told us. And they arrived there with the trash. And I'm going to share with you what the image. And I don't have it pulled up yet, so hang tight. Give me about 30 seconds. Fill up your coffees for a second, and I'm going to share the images with you. So go heat up your coffee, your tea, get your ice, whatever you need. It's just going to take me a second because I didn't have it pulled up. It is about a conviction. You're right. You're right. And that's why they're taking their time. I'm just fearful that with the escalation of the emotions at a courthouse where people, they know law enforcement's watching, they know cameras are, they know all of that. If you can't be on your best behavior there and you're already volatile, I worry. Yes, Sumner County has told the public 0, nothing, nil, nada. Yes. As far as they know, there is a perpetrator hiding in their midst, a stranger, anyone pulling a child out of bed. That's as far as they know. Okay? They don't know differently. Sumner County has never publicly come out and said you do not have a stranger in your neighborhood lurking. They've never told them that. They've never said you're safe. They've never said you're not safe. They don't know what to think. And they are afraid. So let me go ahead and enlarge this with you. Get to the next slide and we will oh, it's the wrong one. Hold on, guys. The wrong one. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find it. I had the wrong one pulled up. Well, we'll just go with it. We're just going to go with the images I have, so I don't spend time searching for my slide, those other slides, because I can just enlarge them here. So the landfill search. So they arrived the first day with Sebastian's home trash. Now, we've already noted that we know who they were looking at for the poor description of who he was and what he was wearing. Well, of what he was wearing, because the last person who saw him was who? KP. So we know that they know that's who gave that. Okay. We also know that she would have said he run away. He left in the night. He didn't take this, or this. She was the one home, KP. So that would have been her statement firsthand. Anyone else who said it would have been what? Secondhand hearsay from KP. Okay. Now, KP said Sebastian took out the trash. He went outside, took out the trash, and he went outside because that's his chore. Peter Hyatt caught that. Rest in peace, Peter. He caught that because he said, I know, Holly, yes, that is so true. He said that because he felt like it was unnecessary to tell us he took it out. He took it outside. She was doubling down. And that he did that because it's his chore. She was doubling down, and he said, look at that. Pay attention. Well, CP told Nancy Grace the garage lights stay on all the time. KP didn't mention those lights were on. CP added it in Nancy Grace. And KP says, oh, yeah. Okay. But they weren't on, if you recall. Seth said it was a dark video of taking out the trash. They weren't on. Why? Why weren't you following normal behavior and having those garage lights on? Red flag, and that can be proven in court. If they have any information that is not normal behavior, and they do because CP said it on Nancy Grace, that those are always on. So the footage of it not being on, or the trash being taken out and them not on, is a red flag. Because it's not normal. Normal is they are always on. And that is admissible in court, by the way. So they track the trash to the landfill. They had to have probable cause, which means not 100% sure. That's not what it is. 51% or more certain that you are going to find something at the landfill because a crime has been committed. Okay? 51% or more chance is probable cause. Probable cause is their lowest form of proof. Okay? I don't know how legal terms they put that, but it's their lowest. Please do not mention other creators in the chat, please. My mods will time you out. We'll have you come back in, but please don't. Especially, please don't. Mods, if you see any creator names, just time the person out for a second, please. Because inevitably someone says something ugly, and especially with the name that was just put in there, it's going to get ugly. So can you guys at least delete that comment for me? Thank you. We are not mentioning creators. Thank you, friends. And I'm sorry it has to be that way. I really am. We're going to get to the landfill. I think we're going to... Holly, yes. Thank you, Darl. You're so sweet. And I love the pup. You know it. And the froggy. Thank you for your super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cute as can be. And Candy's been a member for 5 months supporting us. Candy, thank you for your support for 5 months of the channel. I love this channel. Well, thank you. And look at that cute pup. I love it that you all have your pets. So many of you have your pets. That's cute. We're going to keep going. Hi, Stephen. Okay. The landfill search. There is something that is a red flag to me, 2 red flags. Number 1, they had WKRN take down their report that they found something, that they were there the day the trash arrived. Okay, that report was taken down. That, in my opinion, means law enforcement didn't want them, because he said, I just spoke to the sheriff's office in Sumner County, and he relayed that they're going to go home and analyze what they found, what they've learned. And he had also told us earlier in that article that they arrived the day the trash arrived from Sebastian's neighborhood. Now, that article I can't find anymore, taken down, and we have the ones that say they found nothing and don't tell us they arrived that same day. We all thought, I did, why would they go that many days later? And only spend that little bit of time there. They got a lot of digging to do, right? A lot of searching. Well, they arrived with it. That's why. We didn't know that. We questioned it, right? What color are the sticks the men are holding? I'm about to enlarge it for you. I have a slideshow to it, but for some reason, Girl Jay's not that organized today. Okay, they are red on the tip, black handle, and it looks like wooden colored in the middle. There you go. What did they find? Now, did they find anything? We're hearing they did from a non-verified comment that was left at a person with a trash who works for a trash haul company who tips their trash at the Kentucky landfill. I witnessed, non-verified, according to her, that, or according to this person, that they witnessed them find a bag of Sebastian Rogers' clothes. Wow. If that happened, we don't know. But what I will tell you is they tracked the trash from the house to the landfill and arrived the day of. This is a photo of that day of them searching. Now, they are looking at something. Many thought it looked like a mattress pad cover, a tarp, 2 trash bags. I'm talking about the white right now. 2 trash bags, one next to each other. Because remember, if they're following the trash that was in the bin, and if someone allegedly put something in their own trash bin before Sebastian went missing, by the way, at 7 p.m. That's interesting too. Their own trash bin, you would think they'd put many more on top of it, right? That would fit. So this could be 2 of them. But also remember, this is the neighborhood trash, not just Sebastian's. However, they're looking for something from Sebastian's, and there's 2 guys looking at the same thing. Gloved hands, sticks, and there's also a black object some thought was like a cello case, like a blanket wrapped with something in it, 2 black trash bags. We've had lots of speculation on that. Did they find something at the landfill? My answer to you, in my opinion, is yes, and here is why. Not because it's been shown to me, not because it's been verified to me. The white has a zipper. Thank you. Like a mattress protector. Oh, goodness. Yeah. But listen, there's a reason they had the reporter take down the report that Sonny Weatherford said they found something. There's a reason that's significant. So that to me says they did, in my opinion. Second of all, the reason it's so important is if they found something in that landfill, there's only one of two people who could have thrown it in there that were home the night before the trash went out, and that is KP and Sebastian. So if they found something of Sebastian's, if they found anything pointing to a crime, who are they looking at again? Common sense tells you KP. Why? Because that's her alibi. She was home. She didn't say someone else came over that evening who would have had the capability to put reasonable doubt in there that KP put that in the trash, something in the trash, took the trash out, or Sebastian. No, it's her. So law enforcement's looking at her then, if they found something there. You bet. You bet, you bet, you bet. So again, being called a runaway. He ran away in the night. Who is the last person to see him who would have reported what happened? KP. Who was the last person to see him who would have described his clothes that were incorrect? KP. Who was the last person to see him that would have said, no shoes? That I can remember, she said, because I accounted for them all. But yet law enforcement isn't confirming that. We can't confirm it. Mom says it, but we can't confirm it. KP. Now they're at the landfill following the trash from the neighborhood. If they found something at the landfill, which I think they did because they had that article taken down, just like they've had Nick Barris take down articles before or change them. Who are they looking at? KP. She's the one who would have thrown something in the trash, or Sebastian, and I doubt he would have thrown anything related to his own crime in the trash. Right? Who did we hear? Who did we hear use their Fifth Amendment right? KP. Yes, that's a civil right you can do. It's not supposed to represent guilt. But when your child's missing and you're worried about incriminating yourself and you use the Fifth, it makes people wonder. Because if you're not involved allegedly in a child's disappearance, why would you evoke the Fifth? You would help in any way you can, especially if you're a parent. If you think they don't notice her, everything's looking at her, in my opinion. You got trash, they're following it. You got a crappy description. You got a BS story about running away that they debunked immediately by confirming the TBI and the Amber Alert being alerted. Y'all, they're looking at her. Okay, they've got her. In my opinion, they just need more. Okay, they need more because you don't want another Casey Anthony. But I will tell you, her alibi stinks. If this was a conspiracy, she got duped when it came to alibis. The loyalty left her when it came to alibis. Zooming in on that pic, there is discoloration on that bed cover, in my opinion. Yes, it's terrifying to me, in my opinion, if that is a bed cover, a mattress cover. They use the Fifth, and that could be, but the Fifth is also used. The Fifth is used when you don't want to incriminate yourself, meaning something you say may incriminate you. So you're going to say nothing. If they can't adequately explain something, I think they'd have them probably assist them in that. I don't know. Why wouldn't you be able to? Well, I don't know, Lisa B. Always. That's a thought. That is a thought for sure. Show Poodles gifted a membership. Thank you, Show Poodles. Please thank Show Poodles, and all of you join us at 4 p.m. today Eastern Time for our members live. A little later than normal. Thank you, Show Poodles. And welcome in. And Mandy, welcome in. Mandy's a member now. Mandy Dobitz, please welcome Mandy. And Mandy, we have our reunion Saturdays, and today it's a little later. It's normally going on starting right about now, but we are in this, so I set it for a little bit later. 4 p.m. Wait, let me see what time I set it for. Ooh. $4 p.m. I think I set it for Eastern Time. Someone can jump out and check if they're willing. Okay? But we have a great time in our reunions. We learn a lot. So look at that photo. And then analyze that they took down an article saying they found something and that they were there the first day. And that they tracked the trash from Sebastian's home and arrived there day one. That arrived in Kentucky. And they went and spoke to the trash person. The changing narrative, the description that wasn't accurate, a statement about run away and walked away in the night, debunked immediately almost with an Amber Alert. Tracking the trash when there's only one person with an alibi besides Sebastian that they were home. All of which, the changing narrative from the beginning. Now a Dateline interview that is going to be a lot of nuggets for them. A lot. A Sunday funday after he got in trouble from a family that admits step-parent, stepdad, and mom that admit they run a very strict home. Would they be giving a big old Sunday funday after he got in trouble? Allegedly, 36 hours before at a poker game. Are they that kind of parent? I don't know. Timeline that doesn't stay the same. Garage lights that are supposedly always on. Telling Nancy Grace that you don't have motion lights. Yes, you do. I have pictures. Their motion. I have video clip. Their motion. Okay. Command post chatter. It wasn't a stranger. He was taken. He didn't run away. That came from footage, in my opinion. That's also what confirmed, in my opinion, that he confirmed he was kidnapped unlawfully. You got doors all locked? Well, in Nancy Grace, KP said only immediate family has keys and codes. Problem being is a flashlight ran back to the house allegedly, and she woke up and the doors were still locked. Still look at her. They're still looking at her because that's her who was in the locked house, in my opinion. It's all pointing there. The weird behavior at the Texas Roadhouse, I don't care what you say. Anyone says, right? It's weird. Not you, what you say. I didn't mean that. What anyone says, it's weird. It's not normal. There's no communication, but then again, we heard she doesn't interact with him. So is that normal? But why all the looking around? Why the exchange between cars? Why do you stand there for 2 minutes while your son's waiting to get in with a stranger, allegedly? It's all weird. And law enforcement and FBI and TBI and dog and at night have documented the weird. They've documented the inconsistent, and people are cracking. This was not a perfect crime. They thought it was a perfect crime in the beginning. Because nothing was, remember, we have nothing. We have no evidence. Nothing to prove foul play. Nothing to prove there's been a crime. Yet if they had been smart, individuals would have looked up an Amber Alert and realized right away they knew there was a crime, right? But they didn't. They had confidence. And law enforcement wanted them to have that confidence. That's why law enforcement has had, when audios came out and videos and the green hoodie and all of that, they didn't want them that out there because that was part of stuff they knew. They had them thinking they knew nothing, in my opinion. But now CP and KP know they are communicating with Seth almost daily, on the daily. And we know that they are not communicating with CP and KP because they used SF to put a post on X to speak to law enforcement and ask them if they had verified the person in the image. Why wouldn't you just call? You're the parent? Call. Oh, okay, in my opinion. Not the perfect crime. The cracks are being revealed. Law enforcement has had those. They've known them. We're seeing them. We're going back. We're catching some of them. Some are being revealed now. They possibly are exploring civil litigation against them for the lies, for impeding, for defamatory language. So it's getting close, my friends. Okay. We went over her Apple Watch, all the digital evidence that can be gotten off that. Now I'm hearing rumors she said she lost it. That's a rumor I can't verify, but I'm hearing she told law enforcement it was lost. Could that be another weird thing? That suddenly the Apple Watch is lost that she had on that night. Is it true? I don't know. But if it isn't true, they've got her steps that occurred from the time she got home. Was she moving a lot more like Alex Murdoch was when he said he was napping during the times of the murders of his wife and son? They can see how many steps she took after she said she was sleeping. They can check her resting heart rate. Everything. Did her heart rate go up at all that night? Anything. Higher than normal. More steps than normal. Right? But it got lost. Now, if you don't think law enforcement made a note of that, of course they did. And if cell phones got shut off, as we're hearing, some people think, well, we think, well, maybe CP shut off KP's and Sebastian's. Who knows? I think, and someone else shared this with me, how do we know he didn't shut off hers, KP's and his, and got new phones? Right? Maybe that was the beginning of the plan. New phones, so nothing could be tracked. Not thinking it was in the iCloud, not thinking you could track it, not thinking maybe possibly if you've got multiple social media accounts, they're going to be pinging from the house. You know, that when they do a cell phone dump, the geofencing, anyone in the area is going to show up, whether it's a burner phone, someone who doesn't belong there, like a stranger, or someone who says they weren't there and were, someone who says they were there and weren't, all that stuff. They got it. They're putting it together, and obviously they just need that one more piece or so. Thank you, Christina. Jay, check Stephen chat info. Interesting, in my opinion. Yes. Thank you, Christina, and thank you for your sweet donation. What? Hold on. Hold on, everyone. I'm going to pause for a second here and do something. Okay, so Stephen, can you tell me when he told you that? Can you share it with me? Email me with that? Yeah, that's something that would be punching someone in the tummy, right? You were given it, no, in my opinion, allegedly, if he gave her an ultimatum and she chose him over her own child, and yet they're getting a divorce. KP, you need to speak up now. Yeah, imagine if that truly happened, choosing a dude over your child, and then he leaves you. Wow. Stephen, I want please let me know how you know that, because that's something serious that's in the chat you're putting in there, and I really need you to let me know who told you that and when. Thank you. I'm going to take a photo of that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. We'll just take a photo of it, and I will send that in. You all have great information. Soiled material like clothing. Okay, thank you. I'm going to keep going. I'm just trying to get one thing. Hi, Sadie X, Cindy Hodges, everyone coming in. Wendy M. Wendy M says, did anyone see scent dogs at the landfill in the first videos that were released? No. I can't find it now, but I'm confident I saw dogs. It may be taken down, Wendy. If you find it, will you email it to me at primetimebuzz@gmail.com, please? Thank you. I'm just going back through a comment that I need to get. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, everyone. Okay. Great question, though. If you can find that, Wendy M., please let us know. I don't know if they had dogs at the landfill. I do not. I'm sorry. If I find out and can confirm that to you, I would. And thank you, Christina, for your sweet donation and bringing that to my attention. I screenshotted the information. Stephen, can you just let me know when that conversation occurred, please? You're welcome to email it to me. I need receipts. I need receipts. And that's why I'm not going to take it any further. We just need to see receipts on that, if you guys don't mind. And so we're talking about this stuff, right? So there's a lot. And they're looking at her because it's obvious. There's one person throwing away trash other than Sebastian. There's one person who saw what he was wearing that was carelessly described, in my opinion. There's one person who was there that night who said he walked out in the middle of the night, ran away. There's one person who claimed she accounted for all the shoes, but yet law enforcement can't confirm he's barefoot because obviously she's not a reliable source to them, in my opinion. There's one person who has changed her narrative. Well, two people have changed their narrative repeatedly. That's evidence. There is one person, Katie, KP can't get a timeline right. All eyes. They are cracking. There are cracks in the case. Evidence is coming out. It was not a perfect crime. Yes, Candy. Amber Alert is for abduction. Silver Alert's for disabled individuals. Yes. And in Amber Alert, the local law enforcement must confirm with TBI that there has been an someone has been kidnapped unlawfully. So they confirmed it right away. So whose story did they not believe? The person in the home, KP. Now, I can't tell you there's no one else involved. I think many are involved, in my opinion. That's why they haven't cleared anyone. They don't want people to know who they know. And Stephen, that's why I'm asking you for receipts, okay, hon? It's not because I don't trust you. It's that we have to have receipts for things like that. And I really would love them. But they haven't cleared anyone, because if they had cleared people, if they had cleared, let's say they cleared, let's be hypothetical. If they cleared Seth, but not KP and CP, who would everyone be looking at? KP and CP. If they cleared KP, but not CP and Seth, who would everyone be looking at? CP or Seth. If they cleared CP, but not KP and Seth, who would everyone be looking at? KP and Seth. So they haven't cleared a soul as far as I know. Okay? They don't want the person to know they know. And in my opinion, that's why that landfill article was taken down. That's why the videos, the audios, the flashlights, all of it. Okay? That's why. All of that has been debunked by law enforcement, not verified. The landfill, finding anything at the landfill, not verified. But look at that picture. What are they doing there? What did they find? That's what we're going to talk about right now. If I try to enlarge it for you all, which I will, again, let's see. Oh, come on, get off of there. Why is that there? Is that showing up for you all too? Oh, shoot, it is. Okay, hold on. We'll go to, how did I get that on there? Okay, hold on. I'm just going to pull it right back up. Oh, forget it. You guys are going to see it regardless, apparently. So there it is. And you're probably seeing the whole thing. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get a better... You know what? I'm just going to show you one of my photos of it. Let's just get it. I don't want you to have to look at that, but you may have to just for this one time. There. Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness, y'all. Sorry. I deleted it. Hold on. I apologize. I'm getting back to it. I'm just going to put it right up on a slide. Sorry, y'all. J technicalities here. One moment. I'm just going to stick it right up on a slide for you. There it is. Okay. Okay. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see this one. Hi, Fire and Ice. Welcome in and welcome to our membership and our reunions, our Saturdays. Today at 4 p.m., normally 1 p.m. But today at 4 p.m. And I want to make sure you're seeing it. Okay, so you've got it now. And many of you think that that might be a mattress pad, and you're just going to have to ignore that thing because if I do anything with it, I'm going to lose it again. So many think it's a mattress pad. It is from Sebastian's neighborhood trash. That's what they are looking at. They are looking for something from Sebastian's neighborhood, so this caught their attention. Was it a mattress pad stained? Was it trash bags from his trash bin? Was it from Sebastian's house? What is it? What's the black thing at their feet? Apparently, Carrie Starr, she indicated she lost it and then got a new one in June. That's the rumor I'm hearing. Okay. I thought it looked like a mattress protector too. And yes, I let At Night know about that last live we did, and they went in just to make sure that they knew those details about the landfill. So they are well aware of it. So we don't have to send it to them because it's already been sent. But thank you so much. Look at that, though. What's got their attention? And then think about the article, what they found and what they learned. Right? What they found and what they learned. Please welcome Fire and Ice. 777. Welcome in. We have a great time, and we will be gathering 4 p.m. Eastern. So, friends, they're cracking. They're fighting. People are fighting. Mama Socks and Babyfoot were fighting in the courthouse steps or courthouse parking lot. That's unusual. The confidence, I think, is gone, in my opinion. I think the sheriff serving that subpoena to KP from April 2nd had people rattled. They have to show evidence. The sheriff showed up at their door. It could have been a service processor. It was not. But yet that was served to KP. Now, CP said we got served, so I don't know. But the dispatch on the scanner said warrant criminal. A warrant means police are going to take action in search or arrest. A subpoena is you need to show up here at this time and or bring evidence. So Mama Socks and Babyfoot were at it in the parking lot. Could it be because there wasn't evidence? They're stressed. They're worried. Could it be? I don't know. What were they fighting about? I don't know. Was there a fight? I hear it. I haven't seen proof yet. Lots going on. Yes, there is allegedly a post, a comment from someone who claims to work for a trash haul fleet, and that they tipped their truck there the day Sumner County was in Kentucky searching for Sebastian Rogers' evidence from his home, and claims they saw them find a bag of Sebastian's clothing, a trash bag. Is that verified? No. But remember, an article saying they found something from sunny Weatherford was taken down. Sunny also said that if it goes on, I don't want to quote him because I don't have it in front of me, any much longer, they'll be looking at a recovery. That was March 4th. Sunny's no longer with us. What is the banging on my video? I have no idea. Do y'all hear banging? No idea. Sorry, Lee Quinn, I don't know. Is anyone else hearing banging? Unicorn of Hope, I have heard Sebastian shares the same shoe size as, I've heard both, quite frankly. Oh, no one else is hearing it. I don't know, hon. Lee Quinn. I'm not hearing it. Oh, it's when you type JJ. Okay, I'll have to, this is that new laptop too, so I will have to take What do you do? Take the sound off the keyboard? I will do that. Thank you for letting me know, my friends. That's a cell liner they use at landfills to separate days. Oops, passed. Hold on. That's a cell liner they use at landfills to separate days, certain areas, etc. Okay. Thank you guys for letting me know. I will try and take care of that with my keyboard. Thank you all. I appreciate you letting me know that. Thank you, Lee Quinn. Well, everyone, hey, Reality Wins. Everyone, West End, Justice Jane, I appreciate you being here. It was a sloppy crime. It wasn't. You're right, Christy Smith. Oh, I know. I wish I knew too. Our goal isn't solved. We need to find Sebastian. We have to be patient, but I just hope Sumner County doesn't let the individuals walk around to the point where they start hurting others. Because then you're going to have, like we did in Moab, a lawsuit against the police. Because if someone else gets hurt and it could be avoided, you're going to have a lawsuit against Sumner County. In my opinion, Moab was sued by the Petitos and the Schmidts for not, because they felt like if they had done more than they could have, Gabby would be with us. So we'll just leave it in their hands and hope that they do the right thing and continue, but not let it go so far that they allow them to, whoever is responsible, to hurt someone else, to unalive someone else, possibly to kidnap someone else, to hurt someone who may know something. Who knows? Okay? Get a cheap mic. It will not pick up keyboard typing as loudly. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Well, y'all, it's been a pleasure this morning. Same size shoes, I think. Okay. Well, that's interesting, right? I appreciate each and every one of you. Can you please add captions? I am hearing impaired. I will ask my mods to help me with that. Yes, I certainly will. Thank you, Charlie, for letting me know. I will write that down. Mods, captions. Okay. You all, thank you so much for being here. And Charlie, I'm going to work on that, I promise. Thank you all for being here, for spending your time. I know there's many places you could go, do, and I appreciate each and every one of you for all you do. Thank you, Ida. I'm glad you love the channel. I appreciate you all. Your support, your Sebastian's Army, and you're amazing. Thank you, all of you. And mods, thank you for everything you do too. And please remember that we are Sebastian's Army at gmail.com. If you want your packet with your flyers, your bracelets, your t-shirts, email there. Talk to them about volunteering. And let's bring Sebastian Rogers home. Talk soon, my friends.